Hi everybody, welcome back to my cooking on the Bay Kitchen and my Cook at Home series with you here. Last time we cooked the pumpkin and mascarpone tomato onion tart frittata and the pumpkin and mussel soup with saffron. If you did try it, I hope you liked them. I thought they were quite delicious because obviously Michael and I enjoyed them. And one of my clients let me know that they actually made the pumpkin frittatas in little muffin tins, which was a really nice idea, I thought, so the children could have them for lunch or put them in the freezer for later on. Today we're going to cook the old family favourite of corned beef. We're going to cook it in a lovely broth, and it's going to be slowly cooked. It takes 40 minutes per half kilo per 500 grams. So I'm going to cook this now and let it just gently simmer away on the stove for our dinner tonight. So what we have, all we need is a lovely piece of brisket, which we have here. Oh, it's actually corned beef. And whenever I choose my corned beef, I always choose it with a lovely fatty bit on top because that gives lots of flavour and juiciness to the meat. We've got a couple of celery sticks, which I've already chopped for you. Some onion, which I've already chopped, and the other onion I've got here, and I've just got to quickly finish it off. It's only roughly chopped, just roughly chopped, so that the more you chop these ingredients when you're putting them in your pot to make a stock or particularly something like this, which is a stock, I guess, the smaller you make the ingredients, the more quickly the flavour of the ingredients infuses out into the liquid, which is what you're wanting. So you're wanting to get maximum flavour from those ingredients. We've got 2 onions and we've got 2 carrots. Now look, I happen to have some tops of my leeks in the fridge, and I thought, look, I'm just going to add those in too. So anything that will give a little bit of extra flavour, I think is a great idea. So we're going to add those to our stock pot. And I've washed those well, because you know, with leeks you need to have them well washed or they get a bit of gritty stuff inside them. So into our pot. We'll go however many green leaf tops you've got. I sometimes just cook those up, slice them very finely, and add them to my stir-fry vegetables, those green leaf tops too, because they've got lots of nourishment in them. So we've got our celery, our 2 onions, and the 2 carrots. The carrots I haven't peeled, I just washed them very well. And in here we've got the 2 bay leaves. We've got about 8 peppercorns, a star anise, and about 6 cloves. Okay, so they all go in for the lovely flavouring of the meat. We'll pop the meat in, nestle it down in amongst all those vegetables. Probably could have put the meat in first really, but that's okay. So there it is, nestled down in there. Now this is the broth from the last corned beef that I made. So this lovely juice that we get here tonight, I reduce down after I've taken the meat out and the vegetables out. I reduce it down and I freeze it for the next time I use it. And this has the most beautiful flavour in it. You can see it's got a lovely rich colour. So I'm going to pour that over the top, like so. You got that, Michael? That nice and close in there? All that lovely. You can see how rich and syrupy that is. Then we'll add some just plain water. Doesn't need any more stock. It certainly doesn't need salt. When I buy the corned beef, I just rinse it under the tap to get a little bit of the sort of the corned liquid that is usually surrounding it. I'll wash that off. So just cover it. Now we're going to put it on the stove. I put it on the wok burner so it comes up quickly, otherwise we'll be waiting forever. But you don't want it to go to a boil. You want it to be just to a simmer, and what I call that lazy bubble. Okay, so it just want to blurp, blurp, blurp on top of the stove. And I don't think we'll get time, unfortunately. You certainly don't want to wait while I talk for the next 15 minutes and while I wait for that lazy bubble to happen. So there you are. Oh, one more thing. A slosh of either a little bit of vinegar and or lemon juice, and I thought I'd put a slosh of both in. This is just freshly squeezed lemon juice from lemons that nice people bring to me in my cooking classes. So we'll pop that on the stove. I won't cover it while it's coming to the boil because it's not a good thing to do. However, I'm going to put a cover on it just for a minute. And we might get it to that little lazy bubble fast, but I don't want it to boil under there. You should never put a lid on something when you're bringing it to the boil. But in the interest of speed, we're going to do that now. When the corned beef is cooked, if you cooked it at lunchtime for dinner time tonight, when it's nice and tender after it's been cooked, say, that piece is only 1.1 kilos, so it's going to take about 80 minutes to cook, which isn't long, about an hour and a half. I tend to probably cook it a bit longer than that. I'll probably cook it for about 2 hours so that it's nice and juicy and tender inside. I like it to sit in the broth to cool down, and you can do that too. It's nice, so if you cook it this afternoon, you can leave it in the broth for at least an hour and a half, quite safely, without it deteriorating anyway, and it will just keep it getting tender and more juicy as the meat relaxes. And then obviously you can take it out and serve it. And corned beef, as you would know, is beautiful cold. Next day, it's really delicious. So what we're going to serve with this tonight is a creamy cauliflower, sort of a puree if you like, but it's more of a vegetable. And I'm going to steam the cauliflower, and I'll do it a little bit later. I'm going to prepare all of this while I'm waiting for this to come up to while I'm waiting for this to cook. So we'll have our cauliflower in here, which I will steam. I'll have it cut into little florets. We'll add, and when it's ready to go, we'll pop it into a bowl, a pot or a bowl, and I'll add some butter, about, 50 grams of butter, about 50 grams of cream cheese, some grated cheese, about the same, 100 grams of grated cheese, and a little bit of cream. So we're just going to make that up into a nice texture. We don't want it too pureed. We just want it like a nice creamy mashed potato. That's what we're using it for. We're having the cauliflower instead of the mashed potato. So we'll serve the cauliflower on the plate with the corned beef on top, and we're going to add some vegetables as well. So I'm going to shred some cabbage, which I will be adding to the broth. I'm going to peel some of these little Dutch carrots, and I'm going to cook up some of these little pickling onions, probably about 2 or 3 of those, and I'll add those to the pot about half an hour. The onions I'll put in at least half an hour before I'm ready to take the meat out. I might even put them in for perhaps 40 minutes or so. And the carrots I'll only put in for a short time. I may even steam the carrots. And the shredded cabbage, I'm just going to take out some of the broth, pop it in a pan, like an open wok, like perhaps this one, and just toss it around to wilt it so that it gets the lovely flavour from the corned beef juice. And we just want to wilt the cabbage to have as a lovely vegetable to go with it, and that's going to be our dinner. So thank you very much. The recipes will be on the website, and I would like you to go down and download them from there. The ingredients list is also on the Facebook page, so if you'd like to check the ingredients for these recipes before you cook them, you can check them out there. My plan is to give you the recipe ingredients before these sessions go on to YouTube, so that you can get your ingredients and have them at home ready to cook, and you might like to cook along with me, which would be really nice. So thank you very much. Nice to see you again here in my Cooking on the Bay kitchen, cooking at home, and I'll see you next time. Bye.